There's a place called a gin mill way down in the slums. There's a place called a gin mill way down in the slums. My baby goes that night and stays till the morning comes.
Speak up, son.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah, it's a little quiet.
Oh, I really haven't said much yet.
It was low. The volume was low. That's all it was.
Hey, Griswold.
Griswold spoke.
Yeah, Griswold.
You saw it. John saw it.
Griswold spoke.
This is a special club. You guys are in a special club.
Wow. Hey, it's going to be a crazy night now.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to have
Buckle in.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we're
gonna
out
have
here
stickers.
at Grand Junction right now.
We are. We are at the Grand Junction tap room. I've never been here.
It's my first time here, too.
Is this the new one? This is the newer one, right? Okay.
Yeah, this is the new place.
Yeah. Because you've done a few shows with, and we've done Rock the Junction before, and you guys have done a few shows before my days.
Yep.
And this is beautiful.
It's awesome.
We're the 181st and whatever.
Something.
Yeah.
31. Westfield.
Everybody in Westfield probably already knows where it is.
Exactly. Yeah, close to Grand Park.
Yeah, just say
where the
Grand
dads
Park.
go.
Yeah.
I thought my Google Maps was wrong because I didn't realize I was coming up from here on the other side of the freeway, and I'm like, is it an underpass?
It's under a bridge down by the river.
Yeah. It's a speakeasy tap room.
Yeah.
That's what I was going for. You going for the hobo theme?
Someday.
It's a railroad thing. I hope you know. So we're at a hobo stop.
It's a tough business. We had to cut back. So yeah. Some cardboard boxes under the overpass, and
it works.
Yeah.
You were easily. I mean, that's modular furniture.
Yeah. There you go.
Easily moved. Yeah. I get it.
So yeah, we are here. Guys, introduce yourselves.
Mike Hofferman, head brewer.
Mike, how you doing?
Good.
And John Knight, the managing partner.
John, I believe we have your lovely wife here as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just sitting in.
She's here to supervise.
I'm listening. I'm making sure everybody's behaving themselves.
Are you brand management?
You may want to turn her headphones down slightly.
Don't know why she can't hear anything that we're saying anymore.
That's right. Hey, we got Gris with us tonight, too.
We got the Gris.
Yeah.
How's it going, everybody?
Good. Hey, we got him to talk
We
again.
got him to talk again.
That's twice.
It's gonna be, dude. We should make stickers. I heard Gris talk.
I heard Gris.
Hey, my wife is actually getting one of those printers to where you can print stickers and decals and stuff.
Okay. See, there you go. There can be a whole line of I heard Gris talk speakers.
I heard Gris.
Or stickers and stuff. Yep.
Where were you when?
It's gonna be like a Sasquatch kind of thing going on. I don't know. I don't know if it was real or not.
Exactly.
So
John,
guys, go for it.
Tell us a little bit about the new place. How long have you been here? The massive dimensions, maybe? I don't know.
Dear God.
Yeah.
I'm glad there's no room for expansion here.
Sure.
0.
Yeah. So this place took us about a year to go ahead and get it ready. We walked into a pole barn. I mean, this it was an old lumber company.
Okay.
And I remember the day the owners of this whole development, they own all the buildings out here. I came out with them, and I was looking for space. We were expanding. We needed to find a larger space in Westfield. And I was actually across the street, and I pointed to this building, and I said, "What about that building over there?" And he goes, "Really?" And we walked over. I walked inside, and I said, "You know what? This would be a great production facility, and I think we can do a tap room in the front." And he goes, "Honestly, John, I just don't see it. But maybe you have some vision that I don't see." So
Brewers brewery people have so much better vision on spots. I mean, if you see all the places people have put tap rooms, high schools and post offices, we've seen them all. I mean, literally in a closet. I mean, in a closet somewhere.
Well, and I think that's what's really cool, and I appreciate you guys saying that. You bringing that up, because I think one of the things that's really cool about the brewing industry is repurposing buildings. And we've seen that, and I think we're all very sensitive to history and not necessarily creating something new, but actually repurposing and using things that are already there. And it's all about sustainability and obviously paying homage to the past and so forth. So we were excited about it. We had that vision, and it took us 12 months to do this, and it was a lot of late nights. It's the usual story, right? It's the 2, 3, 4 in the morning stuff, 21-hour days. I mean, just nutty stuff. So we ended up getting this place open St. Patty's Day of 2017.
Nice.
And what's really cool is that we've figured out over the last year what this place is, like what the tap room is. It's a tremendous event facility.
Yeah.
We've had a number of really, really good charity events out here, a number of really good community events that have given back. It's a great place for business functions and so forth. So it's really kind of, and wedding receptions. It's really kind of coming into its own. What's also cool is that coming up on St. Patty's Day this year, March 17th, 2018, is our 4-year anniversary party here at the tap room, and it's going to be a party all day. We got amazing music lined up. We got food trucks lined up. We'll be doing some barbecue as well.
Nice.
It's just going to be one of those days, right?
Where was the brewery before? Where's the brew facility?
Yeah,
where was that at?
Yeah, so basically the history behind Grand Junction and how all this started is we opened up off of Union Street with the current and existing brew pub.
Okay.
That actually used to be the brewing location.
Oh, okay.
We quickly grew out of that. I mean, within the first 4 or 5 months, we realized that
Mike's like,
we realized you can't fit 7-barrel fermentation tanks next to the fryer in the kitchen and all that kind of stuff. So it just
get your fries out of my mash.
Yeah, it just didn't work out. So we were shoehorned
Struggling
in
with a little cross contamination, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, these days it's okay to put fries in your mash.
Well,
Apparently.
yeah, I guess.
So we quickly moved out of there. Obviously, we were shoehorned in. We had to find another location. So we spent 2 years over at a facility that was not open to the public.
Okay.
And it was just a closed facility. It was a couple thousand square feet. Once again, shoehorned in there. It was a temporary situation. We knew we were always looking for bigger space.
Sure.
Obviously found this location. This is 10,000 square feet. So we went 5 times the size.
Nice.
We decided to go big. And
now it looks like he needs to get you more tanks, Mike.
Ironically, that's been on the docket a little bit here over the last month or so.
Now it looks rather open.
That's probably a good segue into a
you're
whole other
welcome, Mike.
discussion here. Yeah.
Yeah, we I placed when I placed all the 7-barrel fermenters, I conveniently placed them proportionally so they could be easily removed and 14 barrels could be put in their place. So
forward thinking.
Every once in a while.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good spot. Put a lot of hours. I was a grossly underpaid contractor for my first 4 months.
Hey, John.
Mike, if I remember right,
it's
that
a
was
true
the same
story.
line on the first show because you guys were I think heading over after the show that night to do some more stuff.
Yes, we
Damn.
were.
Yeah.
And they're both still married somehow.
Yes, we made it.
There you go.
Honey, you have
sorry.
you have to approach the mic.
We can still hear.
Okay.
Man,
It just made it sound like you two are married to each other, though.
Yeah, we are. Some days, it's like all marriages, right? Some days it's wonderful, some days it's not. But no, man, it's been. I learned a lot of things. I literally have my blood, sweat, and tears on many things inside of this building. But I've been able to do some pretty fun things. Really get back to doing traditional styles.
Yeah.
We've talked before. I'm not a big fan of the hype trains.
Yeah.
So I've really been putting a lot of focus into making traditional styles and making them as traditional as possible, because I think that's next, right? I mean, we're throwing hamburgers and French fries into beers.
Ugh. Who did that one?
Omnipollo out of Sweden. But yeah, I mean, everything's going into beers. I see, when I kind of took over in April, I put in a lager program.
Good.
So I'm always working a lager.
Nice.
Right now we have Die Grosse Anlage, which stands for the big rig.
Nice.
That's our Doppelbock.
Yeah, that's going to be my next one.
Yeah, it's 9%. It's made with all Weyermann malt, so it's made proper. It's made with Bohemian
9%
German,
lager?
9% Doppelbock.
Oh, well, yeah.
So it's really nice. It does not drink 9% in true
Good.
German fashion.
As it should.
You do not know it's 9% until 2 or 3 later when you get up off your chair.
Oh.
But
That was
that's
9%.
Yeah, and that's what we do. I've been doing that. Had some fun with Opus Liebling, which is a German pale lager. Did that last spring. Obviously, the Bach that we roll out, Bach the Junction, for the festival, our big fest, Rock the Junction. And I have been requested over and over, so I am finally going to do it, an IPL. Kind of goes against what I'm trying to do, but it's still a lager, so we'll let it fly. I'm pretty excited. I picked up some fun hops for it. I have some whole melon and some Bavarina Mandarina for it.
Sweet.
So it'll be all German all the way through.
Nice.
Full lagers. I've got 65-day lager on this Doppelbock, so pretty proud of it. She is actually going to go to the World Beer Cup.
Ooh,
so I will send my lager to Germany, the king of lagers, and get hopefully really good feedback. Maybe. We'll find out.
Hopefully constructive criticism?
Yeah, yep. I'm excited for it, though. It's going to be a fun event.
When is that?
I have to send my beers out and get them to Denver by March 8th, I believe. And then at CBC down in Nashville, the last weekend of April and the start of May, that's when the award ceremony will be. So I will be there for that as well.
I wonder if anybody's ever tried to play them or anything and just like mixed like a Yingling and a Bud Light and put it in a blank bottle and just and submitted it. Just curious. It's just something floating through my head.
But they're Germans.
I know.
They would find they wouldn't find any hilarity in it.
I know they wouldn't.
This is unacceptable.
And I don't even think I'd find hilarity in it either. I just wonder if there's some people out there who are just kind of horrible and are trying to mess with, things that go on, Just something that crossed my mind.
It's worth a shot.
Yeah.
It's only $150 a beer if you want to join in.
Sweet. No, we make our own beer, too. We make our beer. But no, I couldn't even imagine trying to submit to that, anything like that.
No.
I get nervous submitting just going to a local, any kind of brew fest and having people try our beers.
It has hands down been the hardest competition for me to enter.
Yeah.
I have until the end of the second week of February to change my beers that I'm going to enter.
Mm-hmm.
I know 2 of them. My third is still very fancy. It's a huge event, know, and I mean, you want to send the best of what you have. So, very excited for it, but on the same hand,
it's nervous,
full of anxiety.
Yeah, of course. Oh yeah, I'd be terrified.
Yeah,
definitely terrified.
Yes.
So, tell me a little more about the IPL. When is that going to be available? I got to be honest, I've never had an
India
IPL.
Pale Lager?
Nope.
Yeah, so basically what I'm going to do, so we've started canning, which is probably a different segment for this, but we'll revisit that. But I will probably brew the IPL within the next 2 weeks.
Interesting. Okay.
And then we will do a full lager on it, so we'll go at least 50 days.
Mm-hmm.
I will hop it accordingly in the boil with those hops. Obviously, they're going to fall off being lagered. My dry hop will probably be the biggest dry hop I've ever done for a 7-barrel batch.
Oh, yeah?
To make sure that it's proper.
Right.
So I'm pretty excited for it. The whole melon hops provide that cantaloupe, very fresh taste.
Sure.
And that Bavarina Mandarin provides just a whole lot of big orange pops and things like that. So pretty excited for it.
Kind of like a refreshing kind of.
Yep, and it should sit right around 6.5%.
Okay.
6.5 to 7, so it'll be close to your standard IPA.
Right.
It'll just be lagered though, so you'll get those flavors, but everything will be kind of
right,
calmed down because it's a lager.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm anxious to try that. That sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think so. That's probably one I haven't had.
Yeah.
Gris?
Not at all.
No. Okay.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Are you guys going to do like any barrel aging or anything like that?
I was thinking if y'all are nice, when we take our first break, I might go back and pull you a few samples off the barrels because we have this year's Radio Moscow has been sitting at 4 barrels. We pulled samples 3 weeks ago. Pretty satisfied. Pretty standard across the board when it comes to barrels. If people are being honest with you guys, you usually lose about 20% of your barrels. We filled 4 barrels. Really, really happy with 3. I have one that's on the fence, so I won't put that one back in when I blend. We'll keep that one separate to make sure everything's okay with it. But I definitely have 3 barrels that are outstanding.
So let me jump in here real quick. I can tell you guys must be pretty special because in the last 7 months, I can count on one hand the number of people that have actually tasted the beer in those barrels.
I
So
feel good now.
I'm gonna throw that out there.
See, boys, see what the boys missed.
Yeah, we're rolling out the red
Our
carpet.
boys
We're rolling out the red carpet for the blind pigs
Thanks, Mike.
tonight.
We
So.
appreciate
B team.
Mike and John. We appreciate that.
And having been one of those people on that hand that have tasted it, it's amazing.
Oh,
so you
that's
guys
cool.
you guys are in for a treat.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yep, found a new barrel supplier. Give a little shout out to our buddies down at Speyside Cooperage.
Where are they out of?
They are on the south side of Louisville, which is not fun to get through Louisville to the south side.
We've been there.
Exactly,
Yes.
but I'll tell you what, man, these guys are legit. They're bringing in full semi loads every day. I picked from barrels that had been emptied less than 24 hours earlier. And they literally bring all the barrels in. They make any, fixes to them, tighten anything up that needs to be done, replace heads. And they turn around and ship them immediately out to their sister company over in Scotland, and all those barrels are used for Scotch. So, man, it was. I went out there actually. Sean Lewis from Flat 12 and I found him. And Flat 12 has the big bus. So I jumped in with Lewis and we took a trip down there. He got, I think, 10 barrels, and I got my paltry 4. Which is plenty by me. That's all I needed. But man, Lewis has been in this game longer than me. Kind of my barrel education came from Sean.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from him, and we were both absolutely flabbergasted by the amount of information that was downloaded to us in the hour and a half we were there. It was
that's cool.
Awesome dudes, great pricing, super fresh. If anybody out there is looking for barrels, I highly suggest Speyside Cooperage.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll make sure we tag them on it.
Yeah, good folks.
Awesome. So I think I just got brought the Doppelbock, right?
You did.
It's beautiful. It's excellent. You're right. It's not a 9. Only way I know it's a 9, it's in a smaller glass.
Yep.
that's nowadays. I learned after it took me about a year before I started recognizing. I'm like, oh, okay. Anything over about an 8, and they start serving it smaller and smaller portions.
Yep. Behold the power of lager, man.
But yes,
it's,
that's
it's
beautiful.
a wonderful thing, man.
There's not a burn on that at all.
Nope.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna pass my beer around. It's okay. I was sick 2 weeks ago. It's all gone. You're fine.
Shh, we don't talk about it. For the most part, outside of Port Dawn, we have been able to avoid it in this house, so we don't talk about those things
you're
here.
good. Sorry.
That's really
I'm all over the place with the knocking on stuff.
That's
John's all mad at me because I'm talking Rock the Junction earlier, and I've got so much wood to knock on, apparently.
Hey,
I was worried I'm jinxing stuff.
You need to keep that to yourself.
Things I don't need to know.
Okay, John.
There's a lady at the table.
Hold on.
man.
Oh, yeah. Oops.
Can we
Cowboy's
switch
not
seats?
here.
Yes, there's a woman at the table. Come on.
Oops.
Where do you go from there?
I have no clue.
We
Hey,
derailed in
yeah,
like 10
yeah.
minutes of the show here.
That's your wife's fault for giggling.
Exactly. Over here knocking on wood and
It's a
sitting
good
here
start.
Googling himself.
That had almost gone either.
How many Doppelbocks she had then? All right.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
All right,
I'm
well,
lost
hey,
on
thanks
that
for
one.
everybody
Hey, thanks
coming
everybody
out
coming out.
tonight.
That was great.
Exactly. All right.
Thanks for listening.
Show's over.
Well,
Oh man.
speaking of, I think Mike, you brought it up. You guys are canning now, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about. Are you guys? Do you have your own system, or is it you doing the mobile canning?
Nope. We're going through Indiana Mobile Canning.
Okay.
I worked with them a lot in previous places. Good dudes. We canned. I think it was early November. We canned for the first time in over a year. We put 7 barrels of the Dark Road Porter into cans. It moved well. And we kind of looked at each other. We're like, all right, well, let's see what we can do. So I started beating around a little bit the pavement. Was able to set up a nice relationship with Crown Liquors.
Oh yeah, I like them.
Good folks over there at Crown.
They got good stuff. They got good selections all around. I've actually found them to be one of the better, as far as a variation of other beers. Especially when we go in, like we're trying to find beers for our backyard shenanigan shows or whatever. You go in there, they have a much better selection of just random, quad, just darks and this and everything, just all over the place that are really good stuff too. Surprisingly.
Yep. Yeah, man. I mean, I spent some time. Sat down with Andy Yankee. Talked to him, because I've done a lot of things in my 5.5 years in this industry. I've been a salesman. I've had up to 120 accounts at one point that I was servicing solo, but I had never sold to liquor stores. So spent some time with Andy. It was enjoyable because we were able to be candid with each other, and we're able to set up a really nice relationship. We're currently in 3 Crown stores. We're supposed to be in 4. But when we made our first drop to one of the stores, half of that drop was supposed to go to another store. They moved it so fast, it never made it to the other store. So
problem, man.
Yeah,
That's just
yeah,
a horrible problem to have.
Yeah, awful things. So we did.
I thought you were going to say they actually dropped it.
No,
the other half.
No. Thankfully, but no, we did 21 barrels. We did 7 barrels of the Dark Road Porter. We did 7 barrels of the 1520 Hefeweizen. And we did 7 barrels of One with Nature IPA. Today is actually a month since we've canned those. Cool. We are in 3 Crowns and 3 Big Reds right now. I am basically out by the end of this week of my IPA and almost out of my 1520. So very good problems.
Oh yeah,
but it has
terrible.
me. My anxiety is rising.
Well, there's another.
Like I gotta brew beer. I gotta brew more beer.
So,
I gotta brew more beer.
And he's holding back. There's another store, which is you're probably another liquor store, not the big store I was going to bring up, but there's another liquor store, probably unnamed.
Yeah, it's Big Red, man. You know, we've got them right down the road. The Big Red right down here in Westfield. Dee is the manager. She's awesome. If anybody from Big Red's listening, she deserves a raise. She's an absolute sweetheart. She makes my job really, really easy. And she's really excited to have beer that's made down the street available to her. So she was one of the first stores we got in when we did Dark Road, and has supported us unquestionably from the start. So it's been weird only being in like 5 or 6 liquor stores and going through the amount of product that we have.
Good problem.
Can't complain.
And I think we just got an order from Party Pack.
Yep, Party Pack is also in.
Cool.
Good old Dave from the north side.
I'm just raising his anxiety more now.
I know,
I got beer to brew.
I was waiting if he was going to say
Trust
it
me,
or not.
boys.
but,
Trust
yeah.
me, boys.
You're making me do this stupid radio show. I got beer to brew.
Well, you know, it's a good day when I'm literally making you guys wait so I can finish carboning a beer before we can start. But yeah, man, it's we talked about it. I think you guys were here in like February maybe of last year. It was shortly right before we opened this new spot. Yeah. It's happening organically. We're not pushing. We're not forcing the market. We're letting the market come to us.
There you go.
That's the good thing.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. You can't.
It's an even way to do it without taking as much of a risk. You took a
Exactly.
small risk.
Well,
Exactly.
Putting the money into, trying it.
And to put that point into perspective and expand on that, we've literally been approached by an unnamed super center,
Big box.
big box, to have our beer at multiple locations, and right now we're actually defer. I mean, we're putting that on hold. I mean,
hang on, guys.
We're not, because once again, as Mike was saying, we want to have this grow organically, and we're going to do it the right way. We're going to have folks come to us and say, "Hey, your beer's flying off the shelf.
Yeah.
We need more. We need more inventory, and we're going to let it happen.
But
we're not going to take on more than we need to at this point."
And you also, I'm guessing you need to make sure that you can scale it up and maintain the quality.
And that's the thing
In your mind too, because you can go buy a 14 barrel thing, but now you got to run it through its paces a little bit and make sure the 14 barrels batch tastes as good as the 7 barrel batch. I'm guessing.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's very fair, and every brewer I think will agree with me. It would be nice if just simple math.
If it worked,
could be done. But as home brewers, I think you guys know that's not how
it doesn't work that way.
You don't just double everything.
No, unfortunately, no. I wish.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's been, it's one of those things where I would say over the last 2 months I've really been pegging beers. Everything I've brewed over the last 2 months has matched numbers all the way through, from first runnings, pre-boil gravity to final gravity. Now that I'm comfortable, here we sit.
There you go. Hey, that's a tough thing to accomplish, man. That's awesome.
Yep.
That's
yeah,
really
it's
good.
it's been an interesting 10 or 11 months. Ups and downs. We've done batches. I'm a stickler for quality. If it's not where we want it to be, it goes down the drain. Nobody likes to say that. No brewer likes to own that. You're all full of shit. You dump. We all dump. It's horrible, but that's the name of the game.
There's the occasional ones that try to make something out of it,
Well.
and then it's just like, no.
Yeah, doesn't work.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
People know.
Yeah.
The more educated a palate,
Yeah.
you know. So
But you don't brand that as a special release of something blah blah blah.
that would be a lie. And we do our best to not do those things.
He doesn't.
We've heard that though.
And we like that.
We heard
and we
that.
like that.
No, and that's the thing. That goes back to doing what we know and knowing what we do.
There you go.
I learned a lot about lagers through Andy at Too Deep when I was there. I loved working there because I got to make lagers. Nobody was making a lager then. Nobody.
No.
Yeah. And the Maibach that Andy turns out is a solid Maibach. I love drinking that beer. And this John gave me the opportunity to run with lagers here.
Right.
And I'm so happy because lagers got me turned on to craft beer.
There you go.
So
I'd have to agree. That's kind of, as sad as this sounds, and we kind of all have that gateway brew that kind of got you there, and not to, go somewhere else with this, but Sam Adams, when they started kind of creating a bunch of different things, that's what got me to start trying different things and realizing, wow, there's a lot more out there than Sam Adams, and started, I don't remember the last time I had a Sam Adams, just because of the simple fact there's so much other stuff out there, especially local. I mean, my favorite thing is grabbing something local and kind of going that route about it, but it's kind of cool how we got there though.
Yeah, I had a buddy, he used to work at Sam Adams. He's doing other things now. He's crazy. I love him. Big ups, Mike. He's actually up in nowhere, Alaska, making beer, setting up a brewery. The dude's crazy. But he brought me 2-day-old Sam Adams Boston Lager. That's why we used to drink it.
Really?
That's why we drank it, man. It's
when it's
fresh
and
it's a solid
fresh,
lager,
man. It's
though.
so
It really is
good, man. Like, I drank. He brought me 3 bottles because he kept the rest for himself. I'm not mad. I got to try it because I never would have been able to try it any other way. But man, it was. You were reminded why Sam Adams is who Sam Adams is.
Exactly. Well, they were kind of at the forefront of some of that, with trying a lot of different things and actually being able to market it and mass produce it.
Yeah.
You'd see them in different grocery stores and Walmarts and all that, and you'd have those different varieties. And then I think, I don't want to call them, necessarily the trendsetter there, but I mean, because of the way they're able to mass produce, they were able.
Yeah, I mean, it's Sam's,
Someone walked in. We're recording when you're not open right now. The guy walked in. Can I get beer?
Dave's not here, man. But no, man. Sam's really trying to change some things up. Trying to jump on that hype train. They're doing some good things. And I think I'm realizing now. As we get a lot more breweries, it's a good thing. As long as you're turning out good beer. That people forget about what got us here. People forget about Sam, and locally, I mean, Ripple Brewpub doesn't get half the credit they deserve.
Oh no, they deserve a lot.
Between John Hill, what he's done, what Mullens has been able to walk in there and do
Take over,
with everything that he's been given. I think people forget why we're here, and it's because of Broad Ripple Brewpub.
Mm-hmm.
Sun King came along, Dave and Clay were able to take it, and really market it and turn it into, something you put in your liquor store, that you find at Marsh when it was around, and things of that nature, but I think I'm an old soul in that way. Mm-hmm. I think people tend to forget about how we got here because they're so focused on the hype train.
Yeah.
So kind of harkens back to the way I brew. We're going to do traditional styles. I will never make you a hazy IPA. I promise you. John will have to fire me for that to happen.
I'm glad Mike brought that up because
Yeah.
I was getting ready to suggest you guys ask him about our new hazy IPA series.
Absolutely,
And he beat me to the punch.
No. I just won't do it, man.
Is that a BJ's or whatever the style? Is it a style? I mean,
I've
is
seen
it,
some of
is
those
it in
NEPAs.
the is it
Those
BJCP
NEPAs are
or
a lot
whatever?
Yeah, I
kinda
think
cloudy.
it might be now.
Okay. It wasn't
but
a traditional.
Yeah, I
original
mean, it's
style.
just, I'll fight anybody, man.
It's,
There's nothing
you're-
better than a fresh West Coast IPA,
It's,
man.
it's, it's chasing a fad. Is
And
unfortunate.
you're fine. It's fine with me because I'm not
Yeah.
an IPA guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the thing. There are some really good ones, but there are also some that are not good at all. And it's for me, you're a good brewer when you can continuously turn out the same beer over and over. Nobody knows the difference. It goes back to brewers in general being okay with Budweiser and Miller and those guys until Budweiser started to, hammer us for being craft brewers, because Budweiser's made in 20 different states. Everybody knows what Budweiser tastes like.
Yeah.
You're in 20 different states, 20 different water profiles, and you're turning out the exact same beer. That's impressive.
That's skill.
That's hard as
That's
hell.
skill.
And I'm looking at you, Hunter. Don't do it. Don't do it. This is
come on,
not
man.
the time that
Not
you
doing
bring
it.
that up. We talked about it
doing
earlier. Don't do it.
Not doing it.
Don't do it. I'll throw you out of my brewery. I swear to God, I will throw you out of here.
And rightfully so.
As you should.
But no, I mean, that's, I think, a lot of people don't understand, it's hard work, It would be a lot cooler if I just got to sit here and drink all day and have somebody do my work, but that's not how it goes. We work hard. Everybody knows your beer. Your regulars know your beer. If you screw your beer up, your regulars know.
Well, it's been an overriding theme through at least most of the shows I've been on since I came here too, though, is consistency. If if you do not have your base consistent beers and you can't continually repeat them and repeat them, then you're just kind of you're going a little fly by night, and I don't, you might not have a future if you can't keep a core.
It
beer.
takes one bad one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is such the community, and we've talked about this before too, the community around here with the different brewers and stuff like that, but you have a nice group of people that will go to different establishments and sit there and expect to walk in and have that IPA taste that exact way every time they walk in. When they don't, and they have it bad one time, the chances of them coming back are probably very slim.
Yep.
So that consistency is hugely important.
You know what? And Mike is, in the past 11, 12 months, Mike has been doing obviously an amazing job and delivering the beers in a very consistent way.
Yeah.
And is hitting all of the numbers that he's looking for, as he alluded to earlier. Just doing a tremendous job on the quality of the beers that are coming out. In fact, we actually had some people walk into the brew pub the other night, and this is good and bad, but we had some people walk in. They were looking for the 1520, which is our Hefeweizen, which is an amazingly popular beer, and it's a fantastic beer. And Mike has got it to the point where it's got all the banana that you want. It's got all the different esters that you want coming out. And it's just a really, really, really good beer. And it's one of our most popular beers. And they walk in, and we didn't have the Hefeweizen on tap, and they walked out. We've gotten to that point where these beers are, people are gravitating to some of these beers. They're so popular.
Yeah.
And he's done such an amazing job with the beers that, are obviously being put on tap. That we have people that are coming in and obviously looking, for those.
I've done that. There's a beer we used to really like that was top notch. Not going to name it. I'll tell you after the show. But it's been rebrewed. I don't know if it's a new brewer or whatever, but it's not good anymore. You know what? I don't buy it anymore.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like that brewery still. I still buy beer. I'll still buy other stuff. But I'm done with that style because it's not what it was, and it's not as good as it was.
And that speaks to what I was talking about, which is the consistency. The mark of a really, really good brewer is the ability to consistently brew that batch of beer, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. So, it's the whole adage of a broken watch is correct twice a day, right? Mm-hmm. So but it's one of those things where for someone to be able to take in a production environment, in a production brewing environment is tough. It's actually, it's really hard work. It's very difficult to brew that batch of beer consistently and do it over and over and over again. And the true mark of a good quality brewer is the ability to do that. And one of the, at times, frustrating things for us, believe me, we have meetings, we talk about it, where someone, and I gave the example in the story of people walking in and 1520 wasn't on tap and people walking out. For us, yes, it's frustrating to have that happen, and I'm sure for the consumer it's frustrating, but it's also a compliment.
Yes.
It's also a compliment, and we have to look at it as that. I mean, we've gotten to the point with our beer that we have it so refined, and that, with Mike doing what he does and doing an amazing job, that we literally have people walking out of our pub because that particular beer is not on tap. I mean, think about that for a second. That tells you that they're looking for that. They're honed in on that beer. Now, we would love them to be.
Yeah, now you got to get on your bartender for not.
Now you
got to get on your bartender for not giving them something else.
Their beer choices. We only have like another 19 or 20 beers on tap, but we would love them to expand their horizons a little bit. But
Mike's like, what's wrong with my 18 other beers?
It's a double-edged sword,
and
right?
To clarify from the brewer's side, we didn't run out because I didn't make enough. We ran out because Y yeast didn't get me the damn yeast.
Oh,
we're still waiting.
It's a true story.
My yeast for 1520 is actually arriving. It's scheduled to arrive tomorrow. I have already milled my grain and I'm ready to go to brew it on Thursday, the day after tomorrow. So
damn Amazon. Amazon. What happened to the 2-day delivery?
I wish it was Amazon.
If it was Amazon, we would already have it. No, I'm just kidding.
Did you forget your Amazon Prime when you didn't pay?
Yeah, it was.
I thought everything was bought off Amazon.
And that's
now.
the thing. Like that's we just put out our newsletter 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, something like that. And I put that in there because all of my old buds downtown will greatly appreciate this. My number one seller up here is the 1520 Hefeweizen. It's so weird.
You're killing my numbers, man.
I
Where's
love
my
it.
15?
No, I love it, man. It's it's not hops. It's 1520. They want Hefeweizen up here, man, and it makes me so happy. As a German beer guy,
that's a cool thing.
Nothing makes me happier than that being our number one.
1520 like Urban Dictionary for crack? What?
No, actually, so
you got crack in your beer or something?
I'm going to hand it over to John because I didn't understand it either.
Okay.
Until he explained it.
Well,
to
it sounds
me.
like there's
It
crack
makes
in it.
sense.
It sounds like there's crack in it because they're fiending.
Yeah. Well, there is crack in it. No, wait, there's not. I'm just kidding.
It's like the old days when you could put cocaine in
exactly.
everything.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, that was
all about the Coke, right?
That was for kids.
Yeah. Hey, little Billy. Yeah. So back in 1487, the German purity law was passed. It's called the Reinheitsgebot. So that was 1487, and what happened was one of the ingredients could not include wheat, right? So part of that German purity law was not to have wheat, and they were rationing the wheat for the bakers at the time. So all the bakers there in Bavaria wanted the wheat, so they would not allow wheat in beer. There was a couple of renegade dukes that decided, they were homebrewers, by the way, that were making beer with wheat in it. Obviously illegally at that point, but they decided to put forth some amendments to the Reinheitsgebot, and in 1520 an amendment was passed allowing wheat in beer, hence the beer style. The Hefeweizen was born.
Yes.
On our can, on the 1520 can, is a portrait of Maximilian III, who was a Bavarian duke that essentially brought the Hefeweizen, that particular beer style, to the masses.
It looks like Mike a little bit.
Nice.
It does look a little bit like
Just
Mike.
kidding.
Or Shakespeare.
We actually,
It does look a little Shakespearean there, doesn't it?
it's funny. We actually shared something recently on social
Yeah,
media. There's a
it's
Junction.
crazy.
There's a Junction Club member that Eerily, yes. It's actually he actually held a can up and took a picture, and it's a little scary how
Very similar facial hair.
Yeah.
yes.
That's funny. That's an awesome story, though.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's kind of cool.
I like when there's a story behind.
I like the
a name
history.
Like that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Well,
We're not just drunks. We try to educate too, man.
Nothing wrong with either one of those, though.
Well, it's not always
I mean,
education.
overachiever.
There's always
Overachiever.
A story.
Yeah.
There's
A
always
story.
An
Yep.
educational.
There you
Yep.
Says the teacher, right?
Right.
Right, exactly.
yes.
Well, guys, you want to take a quick break? We'll top up our beers. Maybe grab a couple samples of what you got on
Yeah,
tap, and
perfect,
then and I believe Mike. Well, we'll see if Mike's beer is ready to go or not. The special beer. All right, guys, we'll be right back.
I'm Busey.
This is Chili from
Dos
Dos Ringos.
Ringos.
You're listening to Blind Pig Confession.
Woo!
And, hey, we're back.
Hey, we're back.
Howdy.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
We haven't heard.
I'm
howdy
sorry.
how.
Yeah. Well, howdy, folks.
Yeah, he's been stuck in Terre Haute for like a month. Apparently, they have a lot of elevators to fix in Terre Haute.
They all go down.
Yeah.
So Cowboy does elevators, and
Yes.
then there's the other. Who's at Cabela's?
Jordan. And Gris.
Gris.
Jordan and Gris.
Okay.
I do computers.
Okay.
I used to do computers.
No? Yes? No? What did you do?
I was don't tell anyone or I'll kill you.
Yeah. Big
I was
Commodore 64 repair tech?
No, man. I was
Nintendo.
I was a corporate IT business analyst for Fortune 100 companies.
No shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not really. It was
Well,
horrible.
You were horrible at it? Or
No, it was. It
was
horrible.
oh, yeah. It can be rough.
I enjoyed it. I made really good money, but I traveled every week.
You know what, though? I miss that. I've been doing that for years, and they grounded us like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I am going stir-freaking crazy.
Man, like
I liked it. I like
Yeah.
hotel rooms. I like not having to do my own dishes or laundry or anything and make my bed and keep my room clean. I like it when someone pays to do that for me.
See, man, like I would be stuck places for 6, 8, 10 weeks at a time.
Okay, that's a little rough.
You know,
I can handle the 2 weeks.
I would
yeah.
get to come home on the weekends, but
Oh no! Then
you know
that's
how
good,
it is
then
to
okay.
travel on the you know how it is. You know, you get in on like Friday morning.
Yeah.
You go to the office until 6, 4 o'clock or so. Then you all go and get drunk.
Yes.
Then you get home that night to the wife.
Yeah.
You have Saturday, and then you have half a Sunday, and then
Because
you're
you got to pack.
packing,
Yeah, you're
and
packing and
you're
heading back.
packing,
You're getting ready to go to the
go.
airport the next morning on
Exactly,
Monday.
and then
Yeah.
I did a 12-week stint where I took a red eye from Phoenix, Arizona, to Philadelphia.
Oh, kiss my
Spent
ass.
2.5 hours on the ground in Phoenix or in Philly,
Yeah.
and then flew from Philly to Cincinnati, and arrived in Cincinnati at 7:38
Yeah.
a.m. I
I've
remember.
done a few of those. Yeah, I've
I did
done
that,
a few
I did
of
that
those.
for weeks, man. Weeks on end, changing your clothes in the bathroom at the airport to
Yeah.
go to the office.
Yeah, I was on the road roughly 300 days out of the year for about 8 years.
Yeah. Those Marriott points are awesome, but they
Oh
only
yeah,
go so far.
I finally ran out. I have run
Did
out
you?
of all my Marriott
That's
and all
impressive,
my
man.
airline miles now.
Well, see, they caught me.
I'm done.
They wrangled me in, man. I got the Marriott credit card, so I keep adding points.
Oh,
They
I
got
did,
me.
and that was one of the nice benefits. Yeah, of my company was you at least got to keep all the points and
Yep.
everything. You know,
Yep.
that was kind of nice. It
Yep.
wasn't you got to put everything on ours and we
Yeah,
keep
right.
Granted, I could have made more points because the plane tickets still went on the Boss's American
Yep.
Express.
Yeah.
You know, so I didn't get, but I still got my regular points, but not the extra points. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We digress a little bit, but hey, it's nice to meet a. What did they used to call it? Road warriors.
Yes.
Yes,
True.
we
True
were
story,
we were
brother.
road warriors. Yeah. Well, but again, for me, I had no kids and no wife. I had a dog, but I had gone down to Florida to take care of my parents.
Well,
so
yeah.
they were watching the dog.
And I think that's the
Yeah.
key.
For me, it's
That's the
easier.
key, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends where you're at in life.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does. If you got 3 kids at home and you have the wife and 3 kids, or you have
And you might really want to get
you have the husband or you have the husband and 3 kids.
3 of them. Yeah, I'd want to be gone.
Bottom
too.
line is
maybe one.
It all depends. I think it depends.
Yeah. Depends on where you're at. Yeah, for me, it was great for me because I got to rack up, and I used that to take like a first class trip to China.
Oh yeah,
for 2 weeks.
Sure.
Which
is awesome. Which you would never have done, right? If you
had kids and if I had a family, I probably wouldn't have been able to do
you're
that.
not going to do that.
I'd have had to take them to fucking Disney World.
Easy. So sore subject currently in my house.
Sorry.
Are we recording or not? Are we?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we are recording. Okay. I was just
We've
checking.
been recording that whole.
So Mike, tell us about your trip. Tell us about this trip.
Yeah, we're going to Disney. I told my wife, I said I don't want to go, comically, because nobody wants to go to Disney except the child.
No father ever wants to go.
And then once the kids get there, they realize they don't want to be there either.
So and then I got
Did you take out a loan?
I got those words used against me a week or two ago, with which I quickly responded, "Of course I want to go to Disney. Those were just jokes."
While the kids are sitting there, while the kids
wink.
are standing there. What do you mean, Daddy? You don't want to go to
Great Wolf Lodge,
Yeah.
Cedar Point, Kings Island.
Yo,
it's much
trust me.
closer.
Oh
Trust me.
and a whole hell of a lot cheaper.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you take out a small business loan to go to Disney?
He gets one. Thankfully, I have my wife and I have some friends that live down pretty close to Orlando, and they are Disney masters. So we are going to leverage their ability to get into Disney for nearly nothing and hope that somehow it works for us.
I lived down there from 2009 until 2015, I think is when I came up here. I went to Disney once, and it wasn't even Disney. I went to like the adult Disney side with whatever island, Paradise Island, Pleasure Island, or whatever, where all the bars are at.
Pleasure Island.
There's a whole bar section there.
It's the other Disney.
Well,
Guess where you'll find me when I go to Disney.
Yes, in the only area where you can get alcohol and all
Exactly.
that. Exactly. Now, I did go to what's the other one? What's the other amusement park down there? Universal. And that you can at least have beer everywhere. You can walk around with alcohol there.
I recall going to Universal when I was younger, and I really enjoyed Universal. I did not enjoy Disney at all. At all.
It's just too much.
It's not. No.
My
wife and kids want to go. I'll just look at it.
I can honestly say
I'm not going.
I can honestly say I don't really get Disney. I really don't. I don't understand it. When I go to an amusement park, I'm going there for the roller coasters.
Damn yeah.
And the Wet and Wild Park. Like I'm going there for splashing safari, whatever, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going there to ride some roller coasters that are going to drop me from whatever altitude and do 100 miles an hour and all that kind of stuff. I've never really understood the concept behind Disney, but
the rides I love, but as soon as one of the kids say they're hungry, I get pissed off.
Yeah, because you know it's going to
cost
$12.
$12 for a French fries.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be.
Just get angry as soon as they say the words.
You got three kids in tow. You got yourself and the wife and 3 kids in tow. You know it's going to be $100, right? Just to get lunch.
Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
So it's tough.
I've got an issue with a place that calls itself the happiest place on earth.
That's the biggest hellhole.
By the way,
that's the microchip implant.
By the way, for everyone listening, that was Griswold.
Yeah, that was Griswold. He talked again.
We'll make patches, so you get a patch every time.
Oh,
you hear Griswold speak.
We should do like stars on his.
Sweet stars on his sleeve every time he talks.
I'll tell you what, he doesn't say a lot, but when he does interject, it's prophetic.
It's meaningful.
Yeah,
meaningful. Absolutely.
You guys suck.
Oh, there's 3. Oh, you just earned another star, buddy.
He's a trooper, man. He's a good dude.
Oh yeah. We beat the crap out of Jordan on the last podcast. On the last show we recorded with Quack Daddy.
My God!
He started it off with, "I'm not, I'm not a small framed guy." No, you're not. It's not your frame. It's all the crap around your frame.
Everybody
every piled on for an hour of. It was just fat kid jokes the rest of the night. Poor guy. Felt bad. It was
a show about donuts. I mean,
we were drinking beer and donuts. I mean, it's going to be a fat kid show anyway.
There are worse things.
So I think the rest of the show obviously is going to take a certain tone. So we're obviously going to have Mike's going to go ahead and talk about some of the things that he has in front of you guys.
Yep.
My wife left So it's
I pity the fool who has to
so
edit
the
this
lady
show.
the lady has left the room. So obviously the show will take another direction here. I'm
game
sure.
on.
Game on. Game on. Yeah.
I know. I hope you noticed I filtered my dirty words.
Yes, you did. You did a very good job of that.
Well played,
Yeah.
sir.
She did
Well
pretty
played.
good. But
It's
she's
not easy
well,
being a sailor.
Yeah.
she's an English teacher, so she'd have corrected your use of them.
Truth.
That was not used in the present tense, sir.
Yes.
All right, let's get to the fun stuff that Mike has brought
Absolutely. Let's get to
us
it.
because this is a show about beer.
Yeah.
And Mike's got a rather hazy beer here.
Wait,
no, just kidding.
what?
We're not going there.
Killing
I'm just
All
kidding.
right,
You just
so
said it.
Yeah, that's what we do.
so today I busted my butt to get some transfers
Yeah, you
done.
did.
So we've got 2 new beers that'll be going on tap this week here at both facilities. The first one I gave you guys doesn't have an official name yet. It is currently being
Here we
listed
go.
as,
Let's figure it out.
It is currently being listed as the English Pale. This is a fun beer because I got a phone call from Jonathon Mullens begging me to keep his 1986 London Ale yeast alive. So I went ahead and did it. And what I made here is a true English Pale Ale. This beer's sitting right around 5%.
So it's a kind of a collab then, right?
Kind
I mean,
of.
it's a little Broad Ripple yeast and.
Yeah, kind of. He didn't do anything to help other than just have me come and take his yeast.
Oh,
but-
he even made you go get it?
Yeah, of course.
jeez.
Logically.
Come on, John.
It's Mullens.
Mullens, man.
He likes to pull that 25-year thing all the time. So, no, but I mean, it was a 5th-generation yeast, so it's right in the wheelhouse. Really, really, really coming nice. What we have here is really, it's all hopped with Comet and Challenger. Traditional English hops. I love this beer. I'm very happy with this beer. This was off the cuff. Mullens asked me to keep his yeast alive. And
no bitter.
No.
It's no bitter. It's dry. It's a little dry.
It's dry. It's earthy.
What's the ABV on
That's
that?
that's what I was
5.
telling him with
Sitting right at 5.
that nose
Yep.
on it, the aroma. You
Yep.
get that earthy.
Yep.
You know, and it's
That's
it's inviting.
that's the English hops.
Yeah,
So
I like that.
So I would love to interject here. For anyone listening, I was born in England.
Okay.
I was born in Dewsbury, England, actually in Yorkshire, England. My whole family is from the Yorkshire area. I spent a lot of time in various pubs in England. I would go back after we moved here to the States. I would go back every other year.
Then he got to high school.
This is actually, let me say this. This is the first time I'm actually tasting this beer.
at a legal age.
That's how I like to roll.
No, literally, this is the first time I'm actually
Really?
trying this beer
Oh,
out.
okay.
So you guys are sampling it at the same time I am,
No kidding.
and what I can tell you, it is very true to style. It's got some biscuit in it. It is it's a proper English.
There's a good mouthfeel
It's
to
a-
it.
it's a proper English
got,
ale. It's
got a little more mouthfeel to it than a normal pale.
Yeah.
it's spot on.
Oh, yeah.
It's spot on.
Beauty.
It definitely brings you back. I'm excited to
That's
try this
cool.
beer, and I'm glad I'm enjoying it with you guys. And the first time, like I said, I've ever tried it. And it's kudos, Mike.
Yeah.
Did a great
Cheers,
job.
guys.
Good
Super
job.
clear.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Appreciate
Super
it, guys.
clear. You said this was. You think you tapped this morning?
Super clear, and I transferred it this morning at about 7:30 this morning. So
Oh, well, thanks for staying late. We appreciate
Yeah,
that.
no kidding.
it's all
These
right.
guys
It's no
here
problem.
can attest.
And just to follow up on that,
Yeah.
isn't that such a cool thing that you can? There's a taste that takes you back to
Oh,
somewhere,
I know.
a
Yeah.
memory. That's just the coolest
And I know.
thing, man.
I mean, it's one of those things where I came here where it was just. My parents and my 2 brothers, we left all our cousins and grandparents and aunts and uncles over there. So we went back, and I've spent so much time back there. Part of the reason Grand Junction Brewing Company got started was because of that history.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I always wanted to be very true to style, but with a focus on European beers. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't. I would not get mad if it was focused on English beers as well, but it was always going to be European, beers, and definitely have that as a focus. This is an amazing beer. This is actually, and like I said, once again, I'm tasting it for the first time. It's It's spot on. It's
Okay,
solid.
thank you.
It's
Great
very
flavor,
solid, man.
real clean.
Very solid.
Yeah. Gris is not a pale guy at all either.
no.
So
It's.
what do you think?
Yeah, it's right there.
You guys can attest to this. When I first started drinking, shut up.
What?
Fuck, there's a star, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
You poor guy.
When I first started drinking craft beer, I would just down it.
Yeah.
He
Because
literally.
if I like it, I want to just.
We had to stop him because he was just doing them like shots. He was doing flights like shots.
I took it. Well, I smelled this 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Loved the smell.
Yeah.
Then I took a taste, and I had to stop myself from
Chugging.
seriously.
Yeah.
From chugging it.
He was
because I
harking
love
back
the
to
taste
Excellent,
so
man.
much.
Savor
Good.
it.
Yeah, it's got a great taste. Just like it's dries out on the back end, but it's not a
Yep.
bitter dry.
Yep.
Yeah, very good. I'm
Excellent.
solid with that.
Cheers, boys. I'm glad you like it.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Beauty.
Cheers.
So
So what do we
what's
have
our
next
next?
then?
I guess
this
we'll
one
go. I
is
guess we'll go
your-
with this one,
your
and then we'll
hazy
hit
IPA.
the.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
he
a,
did it. He
It's
did
a
it.
pale ale.
The New England style.
So
Punch him in the throat. Punch him in the throat.
So you guys know me too well. So I transferred this beer finished transfer about 2 hours ago. We finished first carb on it 5 minutes before we started the show. So it's obviously not fully carved and not settled yet. But what we have here is it's a single hop pale ale. It's all Waimea hops out of New
Waimea
Zealand.
That seems wrong.
Yep.
That's Hawaiian.
Sounds
I know,
Hawaiian,
right? Yeah, you just want to, like you want to call it something Hawaiian, but no, these are actually out of New Zealand. I started kind of playing around with a single hopped pale ale recipe. Before this, we did Albert Citrusstein. It was 100% single hopped with Citra. Really awesome beer. One of the fastest pale ales I've made to move through our doors. That's why you aren't getting to try it. Because it ripped.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of keep rolling with that a little bit. We have some plans down the road to potentially can this because this is kind of my give back to my people that spend their money on my beer. If I can do a single hop beer, it helps them to be able to identify hops, to pick those hops out. You know, with Citrusstein, it's all citrus. So if you drink that beer, 3 or 4 pints of that, you know when you taste Citra.
Yeah.
Same with this. You know, you have 3 or 4 pints of this.
Ooh, he's
you're
educational
gonna know.
too.
Yep.
Well, no, that's great. No,
That's what
I
it's
think
about,
it's
man.
great.
Yeah,
I think
that's what it's
great.
about,
Most
man.
people don't do. It's
Yeah.
a mix of hops. You know, you get them, but then they're muddled, and you really
Exactly.
can't do that identification.
Yep.
I think that's great. It's also, I think, what's the IBU on this for a pale?
This one is sitting right around 58 IBU.
So, and it's not bitter. Even I think also the single hop ones can be some of those better transitional beers too. If you're trying to get
that's
the
the
guy,
thing, man.
the people off of, the other things they shouldn't be drinking.
And that's the thing,
No.
man. This beer was really hard for me to make because Waimea has a 16.3% alpha. So the higher the
Man.
alpha, the higher the bitterness, the
Yeah.
perceived bitterness.
Oh yeah,
Really?
So this is 16.3. This is higher than most hops you're going to
but I don't taste that at all.
no.
Well, you get that little bit,
Just
kinda
a bit.
that on the back of the
Yep.
tongue
but
type
it all,
of thing.
But it ties in with the dryness too.
Yeah.
So it's
Yes.
like it
It
works
balances
nice.
out. Actually,
Yep.
this
It's-
is really good.
It's not
Yeah.
hurting me. It's not hurting me on the front of the tongue, and
No.
it's not spoiling my palate and on the back.
Yep.
It's literally for me. It's like right in the middle.
But you get
right
that-
in the middle on the side. It's bitter with a slight
Right.
with a slight.
that
slight
citrus,
dryness.
that
Yeah.
citrus that you get on the back of the tongue,
Yeah.
but that drying out and just the crispness of this really
Yep.
balances out.
Yep.
This is well done, man.
And
I
it's got
just
those-
but I do like the thinking. It's nice to train, to help people figure a few things out.
And that's the thing. I mean, John. We enter competitions. We have medals. It's a good thing. It's a very good thing for marketing wise for us. But really, at the end of the day, I work really hard to make beer. My customers, my regulars, anybody who buys our beer works really hard to make the money to buy my beer. That's my medal, man. If you work hard, you work hard to make your money, and you're willing to spend the money you worked hard on to buy my beer, I've done my job.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah,
I've done
that's
my
a good
job.
way to say
And
it,
you
man.
can tell
Really.
when a brewer is real serious.
Yeah.
And how
all
am I
right.
going to say this?
You'll figure it out.
I'm not easily offended, so go for it, man.
Yeah.
You can tell when a brewer is real into it.
Yeah.
And they want to make their consumers happy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we wouldn't be here. John will tell you, man.
Well,
we wouldn't be here without the people right outside our door.
Yeah.
I actually think that's a really good thing that you bring up because it's, it's all about the passion that you bring to the table.
Absolutely.
It's all about the beer, obviously, what we produce. One of the things that was interesting, we had Mike's been the head brewer here now, going on pretty damn close to a year. And when the change was made, I had some people question, what not Mike, but question the dynamic between the two of us. Mm-hmm. And one of the things was both Mike and I come to the table with a shitload of passion. We come to the table with a no bullshit kind of mentality.
It's okay. You can say it.
No, I am saying it. Yeah. I
you
am
both
saying
are
it.
jackasses sometimes.
Yeah, I am saying it. No. And actually, well, you're speaking the truth. We have both.
No bullshit. Bullshit.
One of the things throughout my life is I've been known as a guy that some people will say, hey, he's an asshole or he's very direct or whatever. And we wear our emotions on our sleeve. Yep. But what it all comes back to, really, when you break that down, is it's passion.
It's the passion.
We're passionate about the industry. We're passionate about what we do in life. One of the reasons, and I had people question me on some of the decisions that I made a year ago, and I can tell you now, a year later, I made the right call. Sweet. And I feel that strongly. I have no doubts whatsoever I made the right call. And one of the things that, one of the reasons that we get along so well, and I think we work so well, and I think the dynamic itself works, is because we both come to the table with the same degree of passion. We don't always get along, and it never should be that way. It shouldn't be that way because, honestly, if we're getting along, it's the get-along gang. We should actually have situations where we sit there and question each other. We push each other. We say, you know what, you can do better, I can do better, and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. That's the true mark, I think, of a company that's going somewhere.
Yeah. The difference between and what can break that though is if it's the difference between being confident and passionate in what you like, and those two people coming together, and then arrogant. Yeah. If you're too arrogant, you're going to take everything he says wrong and say, "Kiss my ass." Exactly. You're fired. Yeah. Versus. Yeah, you know what? You're an asshole, but I get what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I will always take someone's passion if they can. And we've talked about it in meetings, and we do a Monday meeting. We call it a round table.
But we do some of the people where I work for.
We do a Monday meeting where we basically say, if you got something to bring up, bring it up, right? We do a Monday meeting. We do a recap with everybody on Monday mornings. We sit down and we say, hey, if you got something to bring to the table, bring it to the table, right?
Is this called the Royal Rumble? Or
it's the round table. It's literally church. We call it church.
We call it church.
We call it church.
It's church.
It's a round table. It's church. Whatever the hell you want to call it.
You can get your indiscretions out.
Yeah.
It's the come to Jesus meeting.
It's the come to Jesus meeting. We have it every Monday morning.
Yep. And in this corner, we have.
Yeah. And it works out. It works out great. It works out great because, obviously we all get together. We talk about stuff and we bring our different assets to the table, and we bring our issues and all kinds of. Cool. And I think it comes back to really full circle. It comes back to respecting one another and really understanding that passion and appreciating the passion. Yep. And we've had discussions. Mike and I have talked about it. We've had discussions about that specifically, about understanding that both parties are very passionate about what we do, and it's great. It's a great situation where we're obviously producing great beer and something that we're pretty proud of at this point.
Should be
sweet.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like
All
it,
right, guys. It has been a fantastic show. Thank you so much for having us out again.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Look, I haven't made many shows, but I said this is one I want to be at. Yeah. I love what you guys are doing here in the community. I love what you're doing. Your beers are fantastic. thanks so much for having us out again.
But
gentlemen.
you
Well,
did
thank
make
you.
it after we
Thank you
set
for
up all the
coming.
equipment again.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm here to tear
I'm
down.
teasing you. No, I'm
Hey,
just kidding. No, it's been beautiful.
Timeliness
It's been
is
great.
next to godliness, they say?
Exactly.
And Griswold interjected I think,
lot.
I know.
He got
I think
into
he
this,
got
right?
at least 5 stars tonight.
I think so.
I do too.
Hey,
It's
any
amazing.
breweries that are next on the blind pegs list? Beat 5 stars.
Yep,
That's
beat 5
right.
stars
Exactly.
on the
Make Gris talk.
Gris. Beat 5 stars on the Gris scale.
The Gris scale. I love
That
it.
is awesome.
Gentlemen,
Fantastic.
thanks a lot. Cheers to y'all.
There's a place called a gin mill way down in the slums. There's a place called a gin mill way down in the slums. My baby goes that night and stays till the morning comes.